Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. I'm going to be doing a video today that is all about spiritual protection. So I'm going to start off by actually doing the protection ritual that I use multiple times a day for myself. Then I'm going to kind of break it down and talk about the different components of the ritual and why it's a good idea to include these components in your daily practice to protect yourself. I'm also going to be talking about Amanda Ellis sprays that you can use for protection. I'm going to be talking about crystals that you can use for protection, and the different areas of protection: demonic protection, galactic protection, black magic protection. Going to talk about the guides that you can use, and I'm going to talk about the incense or things that you can burn, like resins, that can also bring in a protection component to your home or to your space. So I'm going to do my best to kind of give you a broad overview of all the things that I have found useful in my life. So let's go ahead and let's start off with the protection ritual. And so the first part of the ritual, just tuning into my guides. Okay, so I'm going to ask that this protection ritual be applied to me, my home, and everybody living inside my home, and also both of my girls' schools and everyone inside the schools. So I'm going to go ahead and ask that Odin close any portals, remove any entities from either the buildings or the people. I'm going to ask that all of us be placed in the violet flame. Have Archangel Michael cut any cords that are attached to any of us. We're going to transmute any low vibrational energies. And then we're going to place spheres of protection around us. So orange light energy sphere, pink amethyst flame sphere, unicorn light sphere, dragon flame sphere, and a black cloak of invisibility. And so it is. Okay, so let's talk about this process. I'm actually going to pull up my notes as well. So the first part of the process is you just want to be clear about who you are trying to do the protections for. So of course you want to do it for yourself. You can also include, and you should include, wherever you are living, the building of wherever you are living, so your home, your apartment, whatever, your home, and then also the people within your home or the living things within your home, to include your pets as well. You can extend it out if you want to do it for, other people, of course. It could get really lengthy depending on how many people you're including into your process. But basically, in the beginning, the first thing you want to do is state who you want to include in the process. The next point in the process is I'm highly recommending you use Norse god Odin to assist you with removing entities and closing portals. And the reason I recommend Odin so highly is because he's able to close portals. He's also able to remove entities, whether they are demonic or galactic or black magic, is what he's saying. But so Odin can do everything, any kind of entity. If you use Archangel Michael, he's wonderful, he's loving, he can take care of anything demonic, he cannot take care of anything galactic. So I'm just going to throw that out there to you. So using Norse god Odin, he's happy to help you. The next part of the protection ritual I use is utilizing the violet flame. And so the violet flame is a really good tool for just about anything that you can possibly imagine to use it for. When I'm using it, I'm visualizing, and this is important, you want to visualize each step that you go through. So you say it and you kind of need to have a little visualization to go with it. I know some people really struggle with that. So if you truly struggle with visualization, don't worry about it. Do your best, and your best is sufficient. The intention of what you put forward is far more important than the actual words. So sometimes I'll do this ritual and I'll name the wrong guide, or I'll ask for like something that I didn't quite want, but my intention was somewhere else. And your guides are aware of that, and that's what they honor is your intention. Um, so, violet flame is magnificent for transmuting low vibrational energies to light. A lot of times when I use the violet flame, I'll see it like burning away darkness, things that aren't needed any longer, and just kind of burning those away and allowing you to just have new, fresh energy. I visualize the violet flame as consuming my entire body. So from the ground all the way up, I normally, because I'm including my home in the visualization, I'll normally envision it kind of just consuming the whole building. And that way it's the whole building, everybody in it, done. Um, the next part is I call in Archangel Michael. And if you hear that meowing, that is my cat. That's Finn, who's like, hey, why aren't we playing? So the next part of the ritual is calling in Archangel Michael to cut any energetic cords that are attached to you, that are attached to your home, that are attached to your family members. And so the way it works, I don't tune in to see exactly whether or not I have energetic cords or not, but there's a really good chance that I do because all of us get these really thin little energetic cords throughout the day. And that is what this process is designed to sever. If you have really strong, thick, black magic based cords, anything like that, anything that's more intense, this ritual will not sever those. You'll need a professional to come in and do something to remove those. But this is going to remove lots and lots and lots of stuff, and it's going to make a huge difference for your energy every day. Finn is not going to sit down. Come here. Do you want to say hi at least? If you're going to make my camera shaky, the least you could do is say, hello, world. I want to find a spot to lay down. I have so much stuff like spread out to show you guys that he's probably a little bit mad that there's nowhere to lay down, but normally he just lays on my lap, but that's not good enough today. Okay. Okay, so I'll have Archangel Michael come in and cut energetic cords. So I'll just imagine his sword, and I'll imagine that there are cords attached to me all around me, and I'll just see him use his sword to cut these cords. And then the next step that I do that you don't have to do, but if you want to do it, you can. The next step is I see him cut these cords, and then the cords they're still like little remnants that are like attached to your body, right? I just imagine them kind of exploding into glitter, kind of like a little firework. It's like pop, 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 pop. And that way there's no residue of anything. It's all been transmuted. So I'll do that. And then after that, oh, he wants me to talk about it. It's important, what do you want to say? It's important to, this is Metatron, it's important to remove energetic cords because a couple reasons. It diverts some of your energy. So some of your energy is always being diverted over to whoever or whatever is on the other side of the cord. So that's one problem. The other problem is that if you have energetic cords that are like attached to demons, which is very common, don't freak out. Don't freak out. It's very common. I probably, yeah, I get them every day. I was going to say, I probably get them every day. He's like, yes, you do. Anytime you have a human moment and you get like angry, you get frustrated, uh, you're feeling really sad and low, that puts you in that same vibration as demonic energies. And if you have a demonic energy that's in your vicinity that's smart enough or strong enough, it's just going to attach a cord because now it's attached to your energy. Now it can kind of interfere with you on a small scale. and they've got nothing better to do than do that. So it's not a scary thing. It's not something that's going to um, hurt you or like possess you for them to do that. It is just kind of part of the energetic world, things that can go on. So cutting those cords, you're going to feel freer, you're going to feel lighter, your mood is going to feel more elevated because you're not still attached to the person that upset you at the grocery store or the person on the phone who irritated you or whatever has happened since the last time you cleared your energy. You're not going to be carrying the weight of all of that with you. The next part of the protection ritual is just doing a general transmutation of energy. So anybody can use this for any purpose, anytime, anywhere. The way to transmute energy or change energy from light or from dark to light is to visualize the dark energy in whatever way feels right and symbolic to you of dark energy. I just see it as black, a black mass. And what you need to do is convert that into light energy. So a lot of times people can change this into rainbow light, glitter, butterflies, like whatever you associate with a high vibration and with the light, that is what you want to switch over this dark thing to. And so what I'll do is I actually use my hand. You'll see me do it if you ever can like see me actually do this process. But I go from the bottom up on a person. So I'll start at the feet and I'll use my arm and I'll raise my arm. And as I raise my arm, I'll see whatever's dark on them going to my arm and being pushed up. And so I'll do that above their head. And so now they have this black cloud above their head because I took all of the low vibrational energy and I've taken it off their body and it's now above their head. And I'll wave my hand or my arm over that black cloud and I'll see it turn to glitter is how I do it. So it'll turn into like white glitter, yellow glitter, whatever color you like. And so that is transmuting that energy. And so you can do that from a person, you can do that from a building, you can do that for everything. When I do the visualizations, I visualize normally just one thing. So even though I've said, hey, apply this to my home, I have 2 daughters in 2 different schools. Apply this to my kids' schools and everybody in the schools. I'm not sitting there and transmuting every single person, every single building. I visualize one thing. So normally I'll visualize like one person or one building, and I'll do all the work to that one thing. And that's symbolic for the work that's being done everywhere. And so you can do that because you set your intention at the beginning. My notes do not want to stay put. This is kind of nuts. Okay, the next thing you want to do. So now that you've removed everything that's low vibrational, that's holding you back, that's interfering with your energy, now you want to put protections around you and where you live and everywhere else in order to make it more difficult for these energies to interact with you throughout your day. I use, I'm so excessive with my protective spheres, I'll admit it. I think most people probably just use like one. I use 4. You do not have to use 4. I'm going to tell you about the 4 that I use and why that I use them, and you can determine within yourself if one of those feels right, 2 of those feels right. If all of them feel right, you're going to know what's right for you. I'm giving you this not to try to force you to do exactly what it is I'm doing, unless it feels right to you. I want you to take this information that I'm giving you, and I want you to incorporate it into what you're already doing, or take it, start off doing it the way I'm doing it, and then maybe over time it modifies, it changes because something else starts feeling more right to you, and that's fine. The big learning that I want you to take from this is that there are different aspects to personal protection. Removing entities, transmuting low vibrational energy, severing energetic cords, protective spheres and cloaking. And so I want you to understand that there are these steps and that you're going to benefit more the more of these categories you're using. And you can use them in your own way, but just making sure you're touching on these different categories. So for protective spheres, I start off with an orange light energy sphere. And the orange light energy, it's the name of Susan and my business. It's representative of Metatron's energy. And Metatron is, man, I did a whole video on what Metatron is, right? Metatron is the energy that I associate with protection, unconditional love, safety. He's the energy that I want around me, surrounding me. And he taught Susan and I how to use his energy for protection initially when he first came to us and he first started communicating about using an orange light. He taught us how to use it for protection. And so I continue to use that around me every single day. So orange light energy is the first sphere I use. When I add additional spheres, I just imagine them being a bigger sphere outside of the sphere that I'm already using. So I do orange light energy. The next one that I do is a pink amethyst flame. So pink amethyst, I found out over time, is a crystal. Example here. Pink amethyst is a crystal that is protective against not only demonic energies, excuse me, I misspoke. The pink amethyst is protective against all galactic energies. There we go. Thank you. So before, the last process I was using for protection, I was using different spheres to protect against different groups. Well, now I have one sphere, pink amethyst, that protects against as many galactic groups as it can. And so that's the one I'm using. The next sphere that I use is unicorn light. You can also say Pegasus light, unicorns and Pegasus. And that is because their energy is the energy of transmuting light to dark. And it's also an energy that's very protective against black magic. And so I want protection against galactics, and I want protection against black magic. And then the last sphere that I use is a dragon flame. And so dragon energy is actually protective against everything? No. Black magic, galactic. He's I he's saying he wouldn't. I would. It's protective against everything, but probably especially um, black magic, galactic, yeah, I mean that's everything. That's all three. So yeah, so I use the dragon light sphere, and so that's my final one. And yeah, and then after that, the last thing that I'll do is I'll do cloaking. And cloaking is something that Metatron taught Susan and I how to do. It's basically imagining this giant blanket. It's so big that it comes around all the spheres, and there's still lots of fabric at the bottom, and you can like close it at the bottom and kind of like cinch it shut. And so you just want to imagine a huge blanket shutting it. And I imagine a black blanket because black is a very protective color, and it's also what I'm asking for when I'm using the cloaking is for invisibility. I'm asking to be blocked from the vision of those who would seek to harm me, whether they have a body or whether they're just energy. And so cloaking is just a way to kind of stay out of sight. And so I imagine a black blanket or a black cloak when I'm doing that part of the process. And it's kind of cool because it used to just be like black blanket. And then now when I imagine it, I see all this like glitter color on it, which maybe You would think, oh, that's not really good to hide you, but it's symbolic of it being magical, of it being enchanted, of it being especially effective. And so those are the different components of a protection ritual, the one I use. I use it first thing when I wake up, last thing before I go to bed, and if I've had an argument or if something's going on and I'm like, man, I'm just in a mood that I should not be in, I'll use it again because something's going on energetically. You're never just in a bad mood. There's no such thing. There's always an energetic component to that. And humanity, while we spend a lot of time being angry and being stuck in our egos and being, I don't know, frustrated and sad and a lot of different things, some of it is within a natural range, but like, quote, being in a bad mood, that's not natural. That is not natural for a human. We are naturally at a higher elevation. So when you feel yourself being judgmental and wanting to like insult other people in your mind, at least, maybe not in person, but when you feel frustrated like that, that's definitely demonic energy or possibly other energies, and you want to clear those. Those don't belong to you, and you don't want to hang on to that. It doesn't feel good to feel that way. All right, let me take a look at my notes. I still have Finn, who like cannot get comfortable. He's gonna refuse to like lay down. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about crystals for protection. Metatron has chosen 7 crystals and 3 Amanda Ellis sprays for each of these 3 categories that I've talked about. So demonic protection, galactic protection, black magic protection. So let's just kind of get into that and start talking about those. So let's start with demonic protection. Probably this is the protection that everybody needs. Doesn't matter if you're a light worker, doesn't matter if you're a starseed. If you are on planet Earth, you need demonic protection because we are in the exact same realm, the 3rd dimension. We are in the exact same dimension as demonic energies. We overlap. So there's no escaping it. It's just part of being on Earth. We're going to start with, he has cards for a lot of these, but a lot of them he doesn't. So I'll just talk to you about the ones either way. So black tourmaline is probably the poster child of demonic protection. It comes in, this is like the raw version, where it's like kind of these, I don't even know how to describe that properly, but the picture is good. This is like the polished version. So it doesn't matter what kind you get. Black tourmaline will protect your energy. I'm going to go ahead and just name off these 7, just to give you an idea. We have hematite. Don't have a card on this one. So hematite is very, very reflective. It has the same kind of demonic energy protection as the black tourmaline. And by the way, none of these is, none of the crystals I'm showing you, it's not a hierarchy. It's not like, oh, this one's better than this one. No, they all work. It's, which ones do you have or which ones are easy for you to get, basically. That's why Metatron is giving you a selection. So black stones in general, just like black color in general, absorbs things. And so these absorb low vibrational energies for you just by being in the room. I have a bad example here, but this is tiger's eye. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Tiger's eye. So the nice thing about these stones that Metatron is giving us, a lot of them are very, very common, very, very easy to get your hands on, and not super expensive. So tiger's eye is one of those. My husband, not too long ago, I bought him a bracelet, and it was, beads, and it had black tourmaline, hematite, and tiger's eye was the 3 crystals that it used, and so that was fantastic. So of course, whenever you can combine multiple crystals, you're going to get an enhanced effect, and that is true for all magic. Whenever you're combining from different places, you get a better outcome. So this is actually a piece of black obsidian. So this is you can see it's polished into a point, but it's raw here on the sides. So black obsidian. This one has a titanium coating, which is why it's like rainbow colors. You don't have to have the titanium coating. The titanium coating makes it even better. It amplifies whatever stone it's coating, so that improves it. But any black obsidian is going to work for you. This one is probably a really famous, really famous amulet to use for demonic protection. It's called either Fairy Cross or Staurolite. And so you can see this is either the X or the cross, however you want to look at it. And then this here is the matrix that it's on. But these are magnificent. Another really common one for demonic protection, Smoky Quartz. Also really easy to find. For Smoky Quartz, as far as protection goes, the darker, the better. And I don't have an example right next to me. I have a lot. I love Smoky Quartz. I love Smoky Quartz. I love all quartz. And I have a lot of light Smoky Quartz that's almost clear or almost white. Those are lovely, but for protection, get darker. Darker is better. This one, I'm saying this is Smoky Quartz. If you want to get really, really technical, this is a black quartz. This is Morion Quartz, which is like a sister stone to Smoky Quartz. But any normal person who's not obsessed with gemstones would just call this Smoky Quartz, and that's fine too, because it works the same way. So try to get a dark Smoky Quartz if you want to use that for protection. Let me put these back. Come to think of it, let me put all of these back because I have so many things to show you. If I don't put them back, I'm gonna get like buried. So here is a protective stone that you might not have thought about. Herkimer Diamond, and this is probably a horrible picture. I'm going to show you one of my Herkimer Diamonds. So this is actually pretty large for a Herkimer Diamond. Normally they're way smaller than this. This one's a golden Herkimer, so that's why you see like yellow on it. A lot of times you'll see like these inclusions that are black, basically. It's very, very common on a Herkimer Diamond. It's not an actual diamond. It is a quartz crystal that is called a Herkimer Diamond. These are fantastic at protection. And the reason I learned that is actually from Archangel Michael, who asked me to get a Herkimer Diamond necklace way back in the day that I used to wear all the time. But then it was like a cheap necklace. And so over time it kind of, the metal actually on the necklace was really cheap. So it kind of started turning the wrong color and it was a mess. So I threw it out. I currently am so very lucky that I have this golden Merkaba necklace from Show the Love that has a teeny tiny, gorgeous little Herkimer diamond inside of it. And so that is extra protection for me. Let's talk about the 3 sprays that Metatron is recommending from Amanda Ellis for demonic protection. And again, you don't need all of these sprays. Any one of them will work for you. The obvious one is Spiritual Protection Shielding Light. This is most effective against demonic energies. Another super obvious choice is Archangel Michael, communication and safety. He's kind of the king of protecting against demonic energies. He's shy. He's like, no, you can't call me that. Yes, I can. So Archangel Michael. And then this one, Master Jesus. Let's talk about this for a second. Jesus's energy is a master of removing demonic energies. Many of the, I haven't checked them all, so I'm going to say many because I don't know if it's all. Many of the stories in the Bible about Jesus and the things he did and the removing of entities that he did from people, those were demonic energies. And he had command over those. And so he still, obviously, he still retains that knowledge of how to remove demonic energies. This is why people throughout time have, like, when they're exorcists, when they're going into like a home that's haunted, or they're trying to help somebody who's like been possessed by demons, you'll see them wearing like a cross necklace. It's not the cross that's powerful, it is Jesus's energy that's powerful. And so because they're going into those places invoking his energy, that's what has been assisting people. Ben, seriously, lay down. That's what's been assisting people over time with having a little bit of command over these demonic energies. Okay. So these are the 3 that are recommended. Any one of them will do. Another kind of general statement I want to make, if you're going to be using crystals for protection, real quick, I want to talk about clearing energies on crystals and charging crystals. So one of the most famous ways to clear crystals is with another crystal, selenite. So selenite's the only crystal that never needs to be cleared. It clears itself. This is a slab of selenite. They normally come kind of more like this, more like a stick or like a tower. The cool thing about a slab is you can set down your crystals on top of it and clear them. So clearing your crystals, if you use selenite, you can clear crystals in what, like 5 minutes? Yeah, you don't need to do it for a long period of time. Some people like to use like bowls of salt to clear energies, which is fine, that works. Some people like to use like Reiki or like energy clearing to do it. If you have a lot of crystals, it's not feasible for you to put all of them on selenite. Like, I have an obscene amount of crystals. There's no way I can put them on selenite every, week or whatever. The transmutation visualization that I told you about in the beginning of this video, where you're taking your arm at the bottom of something and you're doing this to lift up the black cloud and then transmute it. You can do this for your crystals. How funny. He's telling me, he's like, if you are clearing your home when you're doing your clearing ritual, it is clearing energies from everything within the home. So it'll also clear low vibrational energies from your crystals. So I guess this would only be, if you guys can figure it out. You might need to do this separately every once in a while, but I don't think so. Not if your crystals are in your home and you're doing this ritual every day. You should be fine. Yeah, okay. So that's clearing. Just wanted to touch on it. Charging, I personally don't charge my crystals. A lot of people are like, hey, you need to like amp them up. You need to charge them. And I'm like, I never do it. So you don't have to. If you feel led to charge your crystals, a lot of people use sunlight or moonlight or if you know Reiki, people use energy from Reiki to charge their crystals. So all of those are appropriate. All of those will amplify um, the energies that can come forward from your crystals. But like I said, I have so many crystals that it's kind of like I look like I have a crystal shop basically in my house. So there's no way I can like set them all in like the sunlight or the moonlight. That would take like hours. It would be embarrassing. All right, let's talk about, and actually let me make sure I didn't miss something. I don't think I did. There we go. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to say this. The other spray that originally I was going to use for um, the demonic protection was, grab it real quick, is Amanda Ellis's Violet Dragon spray. So the Violet Dragon spray, it's okay, like basically unicorn light or Pegasus light and dragon light. It's going to help you across the board. But I'm just trying to kind of be specific too in case you have a certain area in your life you're struggling with. Okay, let's talk about galactic protection. So I already talked about pink amethyst being protective against all major galactic groups. Yay! This is the card for it. Pink amethyst is still kind of rare. And at times it can be expensive, so it might not be the best option for everybody. So let me give you some other options that might be easier for you to find. So this says red jasper, but really it's any jasper. And jasper, there's like a million different kinds of it. This one, my example is bumblebee jasper. This specifically is the kind of jasper that Metatron asked me to get for my protection grids. So bumblebee jasper, red jasper, there's tons of different kinds. So jasper's more affordable and easy to find usually. Malachite, easy to find. It can get expensive. This little tiny guy wasn't expensive, but if you're getting like a big beautiful slab of it, it would be expensive. Galactic protection, galactic protection. Garnet. So there's something very powerful about garnet. I've noticed that it's one of the more powerful things that I can place onto a crystal grid. It's both the composition of garnet and the natural shape. So it naturally has these diamonds on it. And it just really lends to the power of this crystal. So this is kind of cool. Oops, but only if I can pick it up. Unakite. So I actually only own one thing of Unakite, and it is like in my hand right now. And let me show you what it is. So I got these two teeny tiny little dragons, right? They're little dragon carvings, and they're Unakite. They're the pink and they're the green. And when I first moved to Texas, I got these, and Metatron told me put them in your girl's bedroom. And so I was like, okay. So I had to put them like up high because my kids, if they found them, they would just like eat them or something. So I put them up high, and they were just kind of like this, facing each other. And so it's really cool now that I'm finding out that these are excellent for galactic protection because I put them in my girls' room, and both of my girls are they're very clairvoyant, they're very clairaudient, so they can see and hear things from different dimensions very easily. And so this is really nice to have that protection in there with them, and I didn't even realize what it was at the time. Also, because these are carved into a dragon shape, it brings in dragon energy. And as I mentioned earlier, dragon energy is really good with like protect against black magic, protect against demons. So little did I know, I was putting these super powerful crystals in the girls' room. I was just like, oh, these are cute. Let's stick the dragons in here. He didn't tell me it was, I mean, I knew it was for protection. I was like, oh, the little dragons are going to protect you, is what I thought when I put it in their room. Not understanding, I was literally calling in dragon energy and, specific galactic energies because it's Unakite. So learn something new all the time. Two more crystals. These are more of it like expensive options, but I'm just gonna throw it out there to you. Perhaps you have jewelry already that are these. So opal. And so it's not just any opal that is protective against galactic energies. It needs to be opal that looks like this. And so it will either have come from Ethiopia or Australia. You can't use like, I don't know, there's like fire opal and boulder opal and pink opal, and there's all these other opals. So those won't work. It needs to be opal that has something that's called play of color, which is why you're seeing like this rainbow energy in here. And so all of the opals that have this and also have like a clear base, clear body, are going to either be from Ethiopia or Australia. So more expensive, but you might already have jewelry like this. So if you wanted to wear that jewelry, that would be a good galactic protection. The other piece that can get really super expensive is Moldavite. So Moldavite is something that's only found in one place in the world. It's found in a specific place in Russia. It's the result of a meteor impacting the Earth, which created this green, sometimes so green it almost looks black material. So this is really helpful for connecting with galactic energies that are beneficial if you're using it on like a crystal grid or you're meditating, but it's also good at blocking lower vibrational ones. So I wanted to point that out. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, good. We did the 7. And then the Amanda Ellis sprays for this one was kind of tricky because she technically does not have sprays for galactic usages other than Commander Ashtar. So of course this one's highly recommended. He's a really good guide at protecting against galactic energies. So of course his spray is wonderful. The other two that were brought to my attention are interesting. So this one is Unicorn Unity Spray, 7th Dimension Connection Spray. And so this one's not actually tapping into unicorn. Well, the reason we're using this one is not necessarily because it's tapping into unicorn energy, although unicorn energy is useful across the board for any kind of protection, and that's why opal is helpful, because basically an opal is unicorn energy in a stone, right? It's got that rainbow color. The other reason this spray is especially helpful is because it's connecting you to the 7th dimension. So if you think in terms of the dimensions and where beings are with bodies, so basically, if you go into the 8th dimension or higher, there are no bodies. There's no planets, there's no bodies. Like, it's all energetic. So if you're thinking of a specific galactic race, it has to be in the 7th dimension or the 6th dimension or the 5th dimension. Those are your only options. So if you want to use this spray that connects you to the 7th dimension, and you want to use your intention going, okay, I want to connect with the Andromedans who are in the 7th dimension. You can use this spray to connect you there, or to essentially call in protection from there. So you can call in any of your galactic guides for protection using this spray. It doesn't matter if they're lower than the 7th dimension, it's still gonna work regardless. So there's that one. This one was interesting. Hey, these are Metatron's choices, okay? Sanat Kumara, Love and Light Activation. I'm gonna spray it. I don't know why. I feel compelled. So obviously this is going to bring in love and light energy, and that is not compatible with a lower vibrational energy. So this is why it's protective. All right. Let's do black magic protection. Let's do crystals. Okay. So man, I'm going to have to bend over for all of these because now everything's super far away. This is a crystal that really everybody should have. It's one of those, everybody could benefit from having this for many different reasons. So this is a good magical stone to help protect you against black magic energies. So we have purple amethyst. We have lapis lazuli. This one is really good. Metatron actually asked me to put this on one of my protection grids recently. So black kyanite. This one is coated with it might be like a titanium and platinum kind of coating. It's coated with some kind of metal that's making it that purplish rainbow color. But underneath it, it is a black kyanite. A more expensive option, but a time-honored crystal that has proven itself to be useful against black magic energies. Turquoise is specifically beneficial for repelling curses and hexes. So if you are like wearing a piece of turquoise, or you have like a turquoise crystal grid set up, or you have a piece in your pocket, if someone tries to send black magic energy to you, it will bounce off of you and return to them. That is a component of turquoise. Oh my goodness, these are so far away. Okay. So this one you might not recognize. This is actually green moonstone. And so it's not just green moonstone that's protective against black magic energies. It's going to be green moonstone or blue moonstone. So the moonstone where it's like basically just this gray. It's kind of hard to show you. I'm trying to block out the color. Where it's just like a gray, white. Sometimes there's like black in it, like this one. And it has a blue sheen. So if your moonstone has a blue sheen, or if your moonstone has green in it like this, it will work against, it will work for black magic protection. Two more. I've got prophecy stone, which are like the world's most ugly little rocks, but man, they're powerful. So they're not that expensive either. So, I mean, you can find some really, obviously, the smaller you go, the more affordable they are. So, prophecy stones. And then the last one he's giving is Angel Aura Quartz. This is again bringing in that unicorn energy. So, something to keep in mind if you cannot afford, or if you don't want to purchase for any reason, Amanda Ellis's unicorn sprays. You could also use an angel aura quartz in the same way. Again, if you can't afford opal, you can use this in the same way. The other way to bring in unicorn energy is through the shape being invoked. So if you have any kind of crystal, and it can be like a really affordable crystal that is carved into a unicorn shape, that is going to bring in unicorn energy. So you have all these different options. So if you can't afford something, or if you think it's ugly, or if you really hate things that smell, whatever the case is, you have lots of options for bringing in this really powerful energy to your space. In the same way, with the dragon energy, if you don't want to purchase the dragon energy spray, the other option to bring in dragon energy, and actually I should have talked about this when we talked about the protective spheres. So the unicorn light sphere that I use for protection, it looks like this, or it looks like an opal. It's like that white and rainbowy color. The dragon light sphere, you can imagine it in different colors, but the way it's shown to me is a lot of purple, indigo, teal. So it's like blue, green, purple, like that. That's how it's shown to me. Blue, green, purple. It's like a peacock. So imagine those colors when you're doing your dragon sphere around you, if you want to use that. The other way to bring in dragon energy without Amanda Ellis's spray, get something with a titanium coating. So this is obsidian. This is a quartz with titanium coating. So you can do that. Here's another example of aura coating for unicorn energy that you can bring in. So it doesn't have to be a big piece, doesn't have to cost a fortune. Okay. And I'm like not even going to use my notes right now. I'm still like going off of other stuff. For crystals, a way for you to amplify what you have. So let's say you're like, hey, this is great. I love all these protection ideas. I want to like incorporate these. And so the best thing you could do would be to combine crystals across these categories. So maybe something that would be easy for you to find. Maybe you're using like black tourmaline and you're combining that with some Jasper and you found some lapis lazuli. And so maybe you have these three, right? So it's protecting in different ways. Ways to amplify this in general, you have a couple different ways you can do this. One, you can put these on a grid that has sacred geometry, any kind of sacred geometry. So, it doesn't even matter where you're putting them on the grid, just within it, the grid itself, it's going to help amplify those energies. Another very easy way to amplify energies is to put the stones that you have with a clear quartz. That, again, is going to amplify the energies. Let's see. In general, titanium and angel aura coatings amplify the power of whatever stone they're coating. So that's a way to amplify the crystal. The shape of the crystal is relevant. So if you have a platonic solid shape for your crystal, so if you have a sphere, if you have, I have some examples here. If you have a sphere, if you have a cube, these are just clear quartz. If you have like a pyramid shape, I know it's kind of hard to see. If you have a 12-pointed star or an icosahedron or a Merkaba, those are going to have extra power just from the nature of the shape that they are. So that's a way to bring in amplification. The other thing you can do, let's say you're like, all right, you're going all out. You're like, I got the lapis lazuli. It's protective against the black magic energies, but it's shaped like a unicorn. So now it's going to protect me against demonic energies and also galactic energies. You know, how do I amplify this? If you don't have the crystal grid, if you don't have a clear quartz, the other thing you can do is put it with copper. Copper is very, very amplifying the way crystal quartz is, but I'm going to say more so. This one especially. This one's actually cut into a Merkaba, and it's copper, so this one's ridiculous, but copper, piece of copper next to your stuff, amplifies it. All right, that was a lot of talk about crystals. Let me tell you the black magic sprays that Metatron has recommended from Amanda Ellis. So we've got Dragon, Violet Dragon, if you want to use Violet Dragon. We've got Unicorn, if you want to use that. This is something that, so look at, there's not a lot of this left because I use this constantly because I use this with all of my black magic clients. All of them. And the other thing I use with all of my black magic clients is a combination of her Merlin spray and her pure white spray, because the two of these together will bring in Gandalf, the white energy. So if you're interested in working with him as a guide, or if you're just interested in using him for protection, this is one way you can do it. You don't have to have the sprays to call him in. It's an option in case you like that. Okay, let me talk to you a little bit. I have so many crystals right now around me. I gotta move some of them. Oh, the only other thing I didn't tell you for dragon energy, and you could have deciphered this on your own, but instead of having the spray or having something titanium coated, if you purchase something that is carved like a dragon, like this one, and you can see that this one is both a dragon and a moonstone, a blue moonstone, because you can see that blue sheen. So this is like really, really good at black magic protection. I should probably have this in my pocket, actually. I've been having some struggles. That's what happens when you clear other people's black magic for a living. You have weird things show up. This is a little dragon that Miss Susan, my business partner, sent to me. So, just an example of bringing dragon energy into your home in different ways. Let's talk about different guides that you can use for protection, different guides that you can work with for protection. I want to talk about like angelic and ascended master or gods and goddesses, like those kind of guides, but I also want to talk about spirit animals because I think those are really important and add a different dimension to things. So real quickly on the animals, we already talked extensively about dragons. Everyone has a dragon spirit guide. So you are more than welcome to call in the power of your dragon spirit guide at any point. I know everyone has a fire dragon, which is it's exactly what you think it is. It looks like this. It breathes fire. And it helps us with when it's blowing the flames, it's transmuting low vibrational energies. So you can have them come in, blow fire on you, blow fire on your house, and transmute any energies that don't belong there. We talked about unicorn energy. So ultimately, horse energy is unicorn energy, is Pegasus energy. All horses are energetically a unicorn. Not all unicorns are Pegasus, but I'm so distracted right now because on my wall, a little tiny rainbow that's like absolutely gorgeous is being reflected I'll have to take a picture of that if I can, if it's still around when I'm done with this video. That never happens. I have this big, I'll take a picture of it so you guys can see. I have this huge whiteboard in my room, and it's like the size of me, and I'm using it to organize all of these galactic groups, and the rainbow is going right across where I've written about the planet Maya, which is one of the Pleiadian planets. There's one rainbow across Maya and one rainbow across a contact for Maya. So I suppose that contact wants to reach out to me. That's crazy. I really need to get a picture of that. Okay. So everyone has a unicorn or Pegasus guide. I've just learned this. Everyone has one. They are so protective and so beneficial to souls that we all have one. So you can always call your personal one in. Most people don't know about this one. There are these creatures, and I was told the name once, and it was a long time ago, and I wrote it down, and it's in my videos, and I've just forgotten it because it just hasn't come up since. But there are these creatures that are these huge lions. They're bigger than a regular lion, I would say. I can literally like lay across the back of mine easily. And so there are lions that have wings, and the wings are kind of like, they're like Pegasus wings or like angel wings. And so these creatures are guides, and everybody has one of these guides. It's basically the marker of you were created by divine. I'm giving you this divine protection. So a lot of times people will see these guides as being lions. I actually saw mine as being a lion for a long time. Long time. And then all of a sudden I tuned into it enough and I was like, wait, you have wings. And I've actually never seen mine fly, to be honest with you. But you have this guide. So if you're interested in calling yours in, you can. Other guides that you may not think of as being protective, I don't know if you do or don't, but these were brought to me from Metatron. Wolf guides. I have a white wolf guide myself. Many of you have wolf guides. They're basically the trademark of someone who has lived a shamanic life, either a wolf or a bear. I know there's other ones, but most likely if you have a wolf guide, you have shamanic experience. Call them in. Not what you were expecting, right? The owl, the wise old owl. You can call in these guides for protection. I would say specifically black magic, because magic is the owl's forte. That's the owl's bread and butter. So you have an owl guide, you can call them in. This is kind of funny. I don't know if any of you have praying mantis guides. I feel like this is more a reference to the mantids as a race, as a galactic race, that you can call them in, which doesn't really belong in my spirit animal pile, but whatever, they snuck in. You have a mantid guide, call them in for protection. And then this was actually okay, now it makes sense. So Ra is trying to be involved here. He's like, hey, don't forget me. I always forget him. I'm such a jerk. I always remember all the angels and all the animals and all the ascended masters. And then Ra's like, I am God. Why don't you remember me? So if you have a bird of prey as one of your spirit guides, eagle, hawk, I feel like I'm definitely forgetting some, but if you have a bird of prey as a guide, you can call them in. But also Ra wants to know, hello, I'm God. If you need protection, you can call me in. I'm happy to help you. So that's what he's saying right now. Okay. Other random things that you can do with protection. I feel like I had something else around me. Odin, Norse god Odin, wanted me to bring this up. So This is just a piece of a branch that somebody so kindly burned this into for me. So this is a bind rune. So Odin works with runes. When you combine multiple runes, it's known as a bind rune. This is this is combining the rune Algiz, which is like, it's kind of like a stick, and then it's got like these two other sticks that come out. And so this is combining those to make a protective bind rune. Currently around my house, I used to have black tourmaline in the four corners of my house, and I still have black tourmaline in my car at all times. But I want to show you what Odin's having me do in the four corners of my house now. I just happen to be in a corner of my house at this time, so this is over here. So Odin had me use one of my little bind runes plus a piece of black tourmaline that has an aura coating on it. Sorry, this isn't the most beautiful piece in the world, but it works. And a piece of turquoise. And so in the four corners of my house right now, I have these. And again, anytime you're combining protective components, you're going to get a better outcome. And I need that because ever since I started doing the black magic service, it got more active here, of course. So they have me just doing more things to keep me protected. The stuff that I have to do is not the stuff that normal people need to do. My life is just very extra with spiritual stuff. If you just take reasonable steps towards your spiritual protection, you're going to be more than covered. It's really only if you are working in a way that is really aggravating these energies that you can come up against stuff more like me. But the average light worker, you just need a protection ritual, probably a couple crystals. I would recommend, if you want to set up a crystal grid using some of these different crystals I talk about, that would be amazing. But yeah, you're gonna know intuitively what's right for you. You might go, you know what, I don't need crystals. I don't need the sprays. I just need my protection ritual. And you might be absolutely right. So just follow your instinct. You're gonna know if you're coming up against a problem where you're like, I keep coming up against this. Maybe I do need to add some more protection. Okay, let me check my notes and just make sure. Oh, I did want to talk about one other thing. So I mentioned copper as a metal is a good amplifier for other crystals that are protective. Gold as a metal is a very, very protective metal. So if you have gold jewelry, if you wear gold jewelry, that's also going to help with protection. So it can be like solid gold, 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, 24 karat, any kind of gold. It can be gold plated. All of those are going to be effective for you. If you are interested in finding some jewelry that is spiritually significant and also protective for you, there is a business run by two women, Jen and Ariana, at Show the Love, and all of their jewelry is exceptionally high vibrational. I don't even know what they do to it, but you can tell, you can feel it. You can feel it in your hands. You can feel it when you wear it. You can feel it when you get it. It's just a whole new energy on what they do. So anything from them is going to be protective to a certain extent because of the energies they have on it. So if you're interested in that, I always have their link in my description, so you can check that out. The other thing, if you're having difficulty with certain energies, you don't even need to know which kind, but if you're having difficulties with certain energies, we have a service that's called Protective Amulet Programming. It's the most affordable service that we have. It's $99. I can program 1 or 2 pieces of jewelry for you to be protective against black magic energy, and then it also reduces interference from like galactic and demonic energies. So that's an option for you. We're actually redoing the section of our website right now that talks about protection. I'm going to update the personal protection document to include this information, so it's updated. We have it available in English and in Swedish if that helps you. Also in that section, we are showing different protective grids should you want to view them, download them. We also work with a company called Society 6 that is able to print them out. So if you want a print of them, like in a frame, or if you want a sticker of it, or if you want it like on the top of a coffee table, like they can do all kinds of crazy things. So you can take a look at our stuff there. We use all of our crystal grids. No, I shouldn't say all of them. We use some of our crystal grids on our Society 6 page. So you can check those out. I feel like I'm still forgetting something. There's so many things to cover for protection that it's hard to cover everything in a concise manner and still have it be effective, because even what I'm doing now, it's not all inclusive. I'm not talking about every protective stone. I'm not talking about every protective anything. I'm just telling you what's working for me. And I think you'll be able to find some pieces of information that work for you and that help you. Okay. Ooh, last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. If you use incense or if you use, I don't even know what you call it, if you burn resin or herbs or incense in order to receive protection, the seven things that you can use in incense or essential oils or resin that I recommend. Number 1, Palo Santo. Number 2, Pinyon Pine. Also, Dragon's Blood, Copal, White Sage, and then the last 2, frankincense and myrrh. Let's talk about this because baby Jesus, the wise men, I actually had a vision of the wise men going to see baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph, and it was amazing because I was shown that yes, he got frankincense, yes, he got myrrh, yes, he was given gold, and all 3 of them were for spiritual protection. And the wise men stayed there with them for a bit and taught them how to protect their energy. This is the wisdom that the wise man brought. It wasn't like, hey, here's gold, now you're rich. It was like, hey, let me show you how to keep yourself safe. Because guess what? When Jesus was born, it's Metatron's soul. The demonic world and the spirit world knew who this was and knew he was trying to have an impactful lifetime to help raise consciousness. And so, of course, he's more subject to spiritual attacks than other human beings at that time. So these wise men came in and taught Mary and Joseph how to protect themselves, how to protect Jesus or Yeshua. So, okay, so frankincense and myrrh, also on the list, very protective. So this is everything I have for you. Again, if you are interested in starting like a protective ritual, I'm going to have this in a document, in writing, on our website, so that you can just click on it, download it, keep it in your phone. You can look at it every morning and you can just read it. You can be like, I'm going to read this. And while I read it, I'm going to just try to visualize each of these steps. And boom, it's simple, it's easy. You've added protection to your life. It's going to make a difference. I guarantee you, this is going to make a positive difference for you. And some of it you will never even notice, because how can you notice the things that never come your way? How can you notice the things that you've protected yourself against and so you never come across it? But I'm telling you, from from someone who channels archangels and ascended masters, personal protection is something that you want to take seriously and something you want to start doing if you're not already. All right, that's everything I have for you guys. Have a good one. I will see you later. Bye-bye.